All right, we're green.
Does that mean it's live?
Just about.
Is this
posting about it all over on the social medias?
Is this real live?
This is real live.
Oh my god. Yas, bitch, yas.
Hang on, wait. I'm gonna post about it on the Killer Flicks because it's almost Free for All Friday.
It's Free for All Friday.
It's East
somewhere.
Coast Free for All Friday right now.
It's Free for All Friday somewhere.
What is it? It's East Coast, then what? Central, then Mountain?
Yes. Yes, I want to say. That is one tasty looking burger.
Letting everyone filter in while I'm posting about this.
Hi, filterers in. How's it going? I'm looking at pictures of hamburgers.
Robert Rodriguez and
Yes.
James Cameron,
hey. AKA James Cameron.
Alita.
I am also by name of birth a Jimmy C as well. I just don't go by my name.
Based on a classic manga and anime.
Yeah. Which ran for Man of Items.
Actually, let me
Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
If you're seeing us on here, filter in accordingly. Who's the
Indeed.
creepy kid doing the sawing? What is that from? You know?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
I was curious about that the other day when
I don't know.
Does it really matter anymore?
I don't know. I have so many strong reservations. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't actually post the link in those things I put up.
Oh no, we have 3 watching.
That's fantabulous. Hi, everyone.
Fantastic.
And let me put the
2 words. Fantastic.
Oh, I already did that. Okay.
Has anyone broken the color barrier since Jackie Robinson?
There you go. Fantastic. All right. And nope. Oh, yeah, I
It's
did.
4:55 in the AM, and you're watching Perspectives.
I did. Okay, cool. Here we go.
We have
got 4
watching
people
now.
watching.
You officially are watching Horror Show Perspectives.
What's up, everyone? I'm gonna make sure. Oh, see, it autos to 240, but let me make sure what it looks like. Oh my God, it looks so good,
better.
guys! Welcome to our new webcam.
We look más handsome.
We look so good, and I'm not blurry for fucking once. Holy shit!
I'm kind of lit too.
that
That
was good. All right, so what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Jaime and Fuego here. What's up?
And what's up, Ben Grimm? We are here to do a non-spoiler 2-week in advance review for what, Fuego?
We got Alita, Battle Angel, a film that has been nearly 20 years in production. Which
really?
Is
it's been in production that long?
Yeah. Okay. So
give me the story.
Yeah. So as I was doing some research when we got back from the film and everything, I'd heard some of this, but I just needed to get all of the details properly confirmed. So James Cameron has been saying since the late '90s, when Guillermo del Toro brought this particular manga to his attention, that he wanted to make an Alita movie, and so they registered domain names back in like 2000 and 2001. Okay,
wait, hold up.
Yes.
Is it possible, if this was back in the 90s, is it possible that James Cameron's own Dark Angel was possibly influenced by Alita Battle Angel?
It was.
Oh shit, okay, go ahead. Well, I was thinking about that while I was watching the movie. Okay.
It totally was. Oh yeah, big time, yeah.
He says what?
He basically, so the project just kept getting pushed, whether it was his TV development for Dark Angel with Jessica Alba, whether it was the Avatar film.
So that was meant to be, that's what I'm saying. What did he say was?
He drew inspiration, and as he was still trying to get all the pieces in place, Yes, we got Dark Angel in its stead in the meantime, sort of thing.
Okay.
Because he was still trying to find financing, still trying to get all his ducks in a row, trying to find somebody to script it properly. There was, at one point, a 186-page script and 600 pages of script notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So this project has gone through so many different iterations, and he was claiming he was going to direct it for like 15 years. He kept saying, and then he was like, he started working on Project Whatever, which turned into Avatar, and then he started working on some of those documentaries about going into the deep, and all of these different things. So he just kept sidelining it further and further. But him and 20th Century Fox, they bought domains for battleangel.com and for Alita, 20th Century Fox, all these different domains in like 2000, 2001 respectively. This has been brewing for so long, and for it to
crazy.
Finally after all these years.
2000 and 2001.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the property was brought to his attention like 20 years ago. So I commend the fact that he stuck with it, even though he didn't end up directing it. He did produce it. He did co-write the script and was heavily involved in it. He didn't executive produce. He didn't just EP. Like, he was heavily involved in the creationary process, even if he ended up picking Robert Rodriguez to direct it. Rob Rod has a pretty extensive background with lots of CG with the Sin City films and all of those
and
Spy
a bit of a
Kids
spotty
movies
background at this point.
Unfortunately, because I loved Sin City. I didn't see any of the Spy Kid movies, so I can't really.
I actually really liked Spy Kids 1, but Spy Kids 2, Spy Kids 3, and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl were just garbage. They were just garbage.
And then, unfortunately, with the exception of the title story, the Sin City sequel kind of sucked.
Well, but they also did Grindhouse, and he did.
I loved Planet Terror.
The first part, Planet
I
Terror.
loved Planet Terror. I thought Planet Terror.
I like
was
Death
great.
Proof too, but I thought Planet Terror was a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez.
I agree that it's been more
from Dusk Till Dawn, dude.
It's my favorite vampire movie of all time.
It's
amazing,
phenomenal. So the guy has a pedigree.
Yeah, but he's been doing.
But he also has a reputation.
Well, yeah, and he also did Machete Kills.
Machete Kills.
Well, I love the first Machete. Machete Kills is
Machete Kills entirely. Was freaking horrible.
And they're still apparently going to be doing Machete in space. I don't.
Get it done while Danny Trejo's still around, please.
Yes, please. Well, he's busy with his taco businesses and cameoing in like every movie imaginable. If they'll pay him enough to be on set for a day or two.
Indeed.
But so insane budget, and the funny thing was that was another thing that held this project
One more time?
up. That's another thing that held this project up, was them trying to get the budget under $200 million.
Oh my God! How much was this?
I'm not. I could look to double check what the final budget ended up being. But
go ahead, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So basically, guys, this movie has been hyped for a long time. Yeah, it finally sees the light of day. It's been a long time coming, and
150 to 200 million.
Okay, so that makes sense, and then probably another 100 million to market.
Oh yeah, market. Yeah, it's
because they've been marketing it for a while now.
Yeah, they have, and that's because
we did, I think, delayed. 2 or maybe 3 trailer reactions for it.
Well, and that's because it got delayed a couple more times, even after it finally went into production. So all the pre-production, all of the time trying to get it into pre-production, the decade, 12 years, whatever the hell it was, they finally started filming it in 2016 in Austin, and they gave their first trailer in 2017. We reacted to it, and that's when it was supposed to be coming out last summer. And there was all that derision about
that long ago with the big eyes?
With the big eyes. And then remember...
Did they shrink the eyes?
They shrunk the eyes massively.
They
remember
did?
How they did. They switched up the eyes.
I need to check out that trailer reaction.
That trailer reaction, the first one, we talked mad smack about the eyes and how it looked like a weird anime doll, crazy, come to life. And the
eyes were still big.
The eyes were still big, but I liked the stylistic alterations, and I felt that it ended up looking pretty damn good. But
we'll get to it.
But yeah, so it was... And then it was originally going to come out last July, or June or July, and then they shifted it to this past December, and it was going to be a Christmas movie. And then
was it really?
Yes, and then they ended up delaying it again to February.
I wonder why. What effects weren't done yet?
Maybe they were just like, we need to pump more money into this. We need to pump more money into this, and the effects ended up looking pretty damn good in my opinion. So,
well, let's just. I mean, we don't have the biggest audience yet, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna do this review like we normally do it, you guys. We're gonna do our overall thoughts, then we're gonna talk about story. We're gonna talk about acting. We're gonna talk about effects for sure. We'll talk about sound and cinematography and stuff like that. We
always do.
And I absolutely think we need to talk about sound and
the type of theater we
watched
it in.
Absolutely need to. Splurge and get a good theater.
Was this your first time ever?
No, I've been to Dolby. No, because the AMC up here on Stapley has that Dolby theater too.
I cannot remember the last time I saw a film with the speakers in the chairs.
In the chairs, dude. Oh my god, it makes such a difference.
It's pretty badass.
Okay, so we'll have to get to that.
Yeah,
but
we have to mention that. I mean, this is in IMAX 3D once it finally comes out on February 14th, and so I mean,
yeah, I'm worried Chase Smith is right.
Yeah,
he says last summer supposed to be released during the holidays. Pushed because of competition, and still totally gonna flop.
It's totally gonna flop because it's not a recognizable IP, but it's actually a really good movie.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get into it, guys. We're gonna get into our overall thoughts. I will start off saying I go into this with no preconceived notions.
Me neither. I'm not familiar with the property.
I thought you said you read some of the.
No, that was Berserk we were talking about.
Oh, okay. So I got confused. Yeah. So yes. This is going to be coming from the perspective of two people that have never read the manga that it is based on, never watched the original anime that it was made from it. But I will say I love Battle Angel, have zero interest in the movie. That's a shame, Chase, because here's what I'm going to say. I had a really, really, really good time with this movie. Yes, there were a couple of flaws, mostly in the dialogue department.
I agree.
But honestly, we haven't had as big of a sci-fi action movie like this that has been as fun for me to enjoy. Yes, we've had Transformers movie after Transformers movie, I guess that could, I guess Ready Player One, but that's, again, I still consider that a little bit different. This was genuinely setting up its own world, and, you know, I was buying into it. I was buying into the characters. It does feel a little bit Blade Runner-y.
At times, it felt even Speed Racer at times.
A little Speed Racer, a little Ready Player One-ish even at times. But honestly, I really had a good time with this movie. Yes, the dialogue was super hammy, and yes, there was a lot of uncanny valley throughout the movie. But there were also times, this character that they made in Alita was, at times, so absolutely adorable to watch. Like a freaking newborn baby. I was having so much fun watching how they portrayed her animations and stuff like that. So we'll get to the effects and everything, but she as a character was so fun to watch evolve. While yes, sometimes she looked a lot better than other times, I don't think...
The underwater.
I actually didn't mind that. Like, I am very forgiving, I guess, of CG. I don't have the super discerning eye that a lot of people do.
I loved Avatar, so people...
I loved Avatar. I think that's the best 3D movie I've ever seen.
I agree.
This was actually, as far as environments go, one of, if not the closest. There's only been one other movie that I thought felt really close as far as spatial 3D. Like Avatar really got right. A lot of 3D does the stuff coming at you okay. Avatar was the first one that really felt like the world that you were in was all in 3D.
Oh, the
and
legit expanse of it.
This did feel that way.
It did.
Every time you looked, everything was in 3D. The city was in 3D. Everything you could tell had depth. So
I felt that way about Prometheus, actually. I thought Prometheus had terrific 3D, personally.
You know what? We got a little blurry here, so I'm going to drop the frame rate down a little bit. I'm going to drop I can't drop the frame rate during the stream.
Oh, no.
All right, well, sorry, guys.
What
we
up,
got a
Dino?
little blurry. But what's up, Dino?
How's it going, duder?
Never heard of this movie. Well, that's a shame, because I guess that means the marketing's not doing super great, if that's the case, because they spent a lot of money on the marketing. Guys, I don't know why we went blurry. This is the first time using this webcam, so forgive me if we did go slightly blurry. But yeah, so your overall thoughts, Fuego. I kind of took over there.
No, you're fine.
I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I won't go as far as saying I adored it because of the fact that there are some tropes and there is, you know, just beats that I've seen before and stuff like that. You brought the Blade Runner thing up that I was totally gonna go for because last year or the year before, whenever 2049 came out, I got really obsessive with Blade Runner and I went and I bought like the 5-disc with all the different cuts and all that stuff. I love me some Blade Runner, but It was really her character at the end of the day that I thought the performance from the actress was tremendous. I thought it was really, to have so much humanity in a cybernetic being. I mean, I honestly will go as bold as to say that this was like the most human I felt, machine to be since Terminator 2. I will genuinely go that far and say that.
Okay.
I loved her performance. I thought it was great. I thought most of the other characters, with the exception...
You're right, Chase.
Yeah, with the exception of Christoph Waltz's character, I thought he was the only other one that really, really brought it. I thought everybody else, Connolly and, you know, the love interest, and even Ali from Green Book, who gave one of the best performances of the entire year. I love Green Book.
Dude, he's been a sleeper for a long time. He was in the first season of The Punisher.
He's in
the first season of Luke Cage, rather.
He's in the third season of True Detective right now, also.
Yep, and he started way back in the 4400. Which was a short-lived TV series that producer Dave and I both watched that was really good.
Dude, he is a great, versatile actor, and he's actually not bad in this, now that I give it a slight bit more consideration. But Waltz and the actress who plays Alita, they are dynamite in this film, and their relationship is really, really sweet and touching, in my opinion. And I was happy that this was more violent than I expected it to be. Yeah. That made me happy. The action sequences in this film... It justifies
our review of it, for sure.
The action sequences in this film are badass. There are two in particular, even though I didn't really like the whole roller derby stuff, which doesn't even come out until like the fourth or the fifth book. When they went for it in the later scene, in like the huge extensive fight where they're all trying to go after
the big setup for it.
Oh, it was good.
The setup, when she rolls up on the line and she receives some news and just kind of looks back and forth, I was like, oh, this is going to be so dope!
Whatever, I'm going to go for it. Yeah. And honestly, all the character designs are great. So from a stylistic standpoint, I love dystopian science fiction like this, with just a sprinkling of a little bit of horror here and there, and a little bit of drama as well. That while hammy at times, there was a few times I was just like, you know, but
the dialogue just made it rough.
But then there were others where I was just like, damn, okay, I'm feeling it. So more often than not, I enjoyed this film very, very much, and it's making me want to seek out the source material. So Ghost in the Shell, this was thankfully not.
Oh yeah, I only got halfway through Ghost in the Shell. I was like, this is garbage.
Like Ghost in the Shell.
No, this was really entertaining, and while I was watching it, I was like, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying seeing how the world unfolds, because I know nothing about it.
No.
And I was more engaged than a lot of new worlds that I've been presented in the past. The Maze Runners, that the stuff that I've attempted,
all the
I don't know
stuff,
any of. Yeah, like
it's
just been not good. But this was really entertaining to watch. And what I want to make sure and say now here up front at the start, you guys, if you're gonna watch this movie, watch it in 3D and watch it with a killer sound system. So we have IMAX, which is all across the country. So if you can see it in IMAX, do that, IMAX 3D.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just make sure. We saw it in a Dolby, a special Dolby system that AMC is doing here on the West Coast, or the west side of the country,
where each seat is equipped with these speakers that mimic parts of the film.
And especially during the roller derby stuff was so awesome.
And also when the big robots were stomping and stuff, and you're feeling like the boom.
Dude, it immersed you so heavily.
Big time.
So heavily.
Especially during the initial setup where you're just like, okay, yeah, I've seen some of this before. They're piecing her back together, all this other stuff.
Right.
And then when there's these big, just thunderous stomping of these huge, ginormous robots, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's no chance I'm going to be losing interest now. So, yeah.
And I mean, again, keep in mind, it's made from the guy that directed From Dusk Till Dawn and a bunch of other stuff. There's a huge pedigree here.
Sin City, oof.
Yeah, Sin City is fantastic. But and Christoph Waltz, awesome. He's fantastic in everything that he's in. He's great in this. Yeah. All the actors and whoever played Alita did an amazing job.
I gotta look, because she has not done a ton of stuff. It's been primarily
phenomenal. She was so cool to watch. Yeah, it's so weird, this movie.
Rosa Salazar.
I agree, Chase. It's not going to make nearly the amount of money it deserves to. And that's probably why they've spent so much money on the marketing for it, saying this is one of the greatest 3D movies in a while. The 3D aspects really only came into, well, no, the whole thing is great 3D wise, but as far as doing like stuff flying at you 3D, there's only a few scenes like that. But when that's done, that's really cool too, especially with the guy with the chain fingers, which you see a little bit of in the trailer.
Oh, played by Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, so cool.
I was actually kind of getting down on a few of the actors and stuff. Jackie Earle Haley as one of the big robo baddies. he's great, man.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah, and I actually really liked a lot of the character designs, and they're all different, and especially during the what was it, rollerball or
murder ball,
something like that. Yeah,
or murder derby.
But every character in that race competition game had a different design and like even looked like way different, so it was really cool. Like
very distinctive.
There was a lot of really neat art direction in this movie. Again, it's not the deepest of films, and there are some very predictable aspects to the story.
Yeah, so should we segue story then?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so story, the film basically opens up with Walt's character, and he's going through this junkyard, and he comes across
it says Rosa Salazar or something. She was in Maze Runner.
Yeah, she was in the Maze Runner. She was in some of the Divergent movies. She was also in Bird Box this past year.
She was in Divergent and Maze
she
Runner.
was in she was in Murder House for a couple episodes.
Okay.
American Horror Story. So I mean, and she was in Parenthood and a few other things. So she doesn't have like an extensive body of work. She's only like 32, 33, something like that. But yeah, so long story short, Waltz is going through a junkyard, and he finds like the upper torso of this cybernetic being. It's apparently the humanoid portion that still has like the brain intact and everything, and he's like, oh my god, this is still alive. So he takes it back to his little repair shop of sorts.
Never pulled up the poster.
Which so there's like the more impoverished, from what I gauge, that live on the surface, and then there's lower and lower and lower levels of trash and destruction and stuff, where some super weirdo kind of people. I was actually really getting big 2000 AD and Judge Dredd vibes at times in this film as well, I must say. And then the richer, more elite whatevers, they're the ones that live in this like sky city of sorts that is above everybody. And so Waltz takes this woman back, or this the remnants of this woman, and he decides to use the remaining pieces that he was working on for his daughter, who is deceased, unfortunately. And he basically repairs this one-time fighter, and we slowly start to realize more and more about how gifted of a warrior she actually was. And we get aspects about the fact that we have these hunter warriors that are going after bounties on people, and that's essentially what has replaced law enforcement in this post-apocalyptic kind of dystopian world. And there was this massive war that happened hundreds of years ago between Mars and Earth. And I mean, this is where I can say there are tropes. I've read stories like this before about interplanetary wars and things of that nature, but they put such an interesting and very just human spin on things, despite the main character not really being human. They give her so much humanity, and they write her so well, and that is a testament to the performance and just the aspect of emotion that she is able to. I mean, those like newborn aspects, and just the tasting of fruit, and just all of these different things when she's first just remembering with her taste receptors and her sensory receptors and all this different stuff. It genuinely made me happy, man, and it warmed my heart to see her regaining those aspects of her remnants of humanity, even though she is primarily cybernetic. So
yeah, I really enjoyed all that too. Forgive me, guys, I'm so distracted by the fact that I spent all this money on a brand new webcam and it's gone fucking blurry after the first 2 minutes of the goddamn review. I'm so angry right now.
I would imagine that's
could be
more
video resolution. Yeah, I'm using XSplit, and it was fine when I started. The review started fucking perfect.
Dang.
I don't know why we're so fucking blurry all of a sudden. I'm so pissed about it. I just don't get it. Oh my god! Why spend money on a fucking 4K cam if this is the bullshit I'm gonna get?
It's got to be software and connective issues and stuff.
It's so stupid. Why did it start fine? I wouldn't have started it if it was like this. So I apologize, guy. It's not there. See, now it's fucking perfect again.
Now it looks good.
What the fuck just happened? Now we're fine.
Now we're back again.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Sam Butterfield says plug it in all the way.
Plug it in all the way.
David Gomez
there you
says
go.
Clean the lens. Yeah, we have everybody trolling us now.
That will fix the problem. Looks good now. Yeah, I mean, we're fine now. See, that's what I'm saying. I literally didn't do anything, but anyway. So, back to the movie.
Back into the story of it.
Thank you for those of you that hung in past the blurriness. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but so we get...
This is how good the webcam should look. Hey.
Yeah. So as we're unraveling all of these warrior, like, past aspects of this girl who is dubbed Alita. That's not her name. That's the name of Waltz's deceased daughter. We also find out that his estranged / presumed ex-wife is kind of in cahoots with this guy Victor, who is behind this, like, racing competition, like, I don't know. I guess
Vector, I thought it was
Victor.
Yeah, what's the
something
Vector? Victor?
What was the Victor? But yeah, there's a corrupt aspect to him, and then she strikes up a friendship with this boy, and
boy,
and he's kind of doing some nefarious things himself, pillaging parts and whatnot, without going into too much detail. But some romantic stuff goes down. And it just becomes more and more apparent that she is a battle-ready badass beyond what Waltz maybe assumed. Beyond, I mean, he kind of knows based on her heart and some of the components within her, just the scale of what she could potentially be. But I still don't think he necessarily knows exactly what until later on. But yeah, and things just kind of go from there. And they're trying to piece together her past, and there's also some friendly competition with some other hunter warrior cybernetics and stuff, and I mean it's actually a pretty extensive cast, and it's it's a great looking world. So
I actually really, again, I enjoyed the story, knowing nothing about it before the actual movie. I enjoyed how it unfolded. Yes, there were predictable aspects to it, but I still enjoyed seeing how the world was laid out for me, and how it sort of went along through Alita's point of view. And I was bought in. I was on board. There were interesting aspects. There's like a big sort of overlord. Like it's a part of a larger story, obviously, that we're not getting yet because it's based on a multi-volume manga. So there's obviously more to it, but what we got here was intriguing, and it made me curious about the rest. So I did very much actually enjoy the story. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was definitely serviceable enough to help me enjoy the film itself.
No, agreed. And honestly, in a lot of ways, as great as as familiar.
Did you watch it, Justin?
That's what I was wondering.
I'm curious with a comment like that.
Yeah, because it's out of his league. I mean, don't knock it till you've watched it.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, you don't really know if it is or not. So I'm curious.
Especially with someone like James Cameron, who specializes in huge budget badassness. Not only producing but co-writing the script. I mean, if you like the IP, give it a chance, I would say. But acting wise, though, this is where we have a pretty extensive cast for this. Jackie Haley, whether it's Ed Skrein,
Ed Skrein,
yeah, the dude who is one of the antagonistic other hunter
killers,
hunter warrior, whatever the hell they called them, and he's just bathed in CG and stuff. But honestly, I thought
a lot of them do.
I thought it looked good.
I did too.
I thought it looked really
I didn't get hung up on the effects except with Alita sometimes.
A couple times.
But other than that, I actually really enjoyed, and I didn't mind the effects. I thought it was actually really creative a lot of the time, so I was more forgiving. I'm usually more forgiving of effects than a lot of people can be anyway.
Yeah, I wanted more from Ali and from Connolly, very similar to where I wanted more from Ben Mendelsohn, I want to say his name is, the guy who was the baddie in Ready Player One. Just like I felt like he wasn't written as well and a little underserved and stuff. I felt a similar vibe with the big villains in this. I felt like the more ground level villains, like Ed Skrein character. I thought, even though he didn't really get a ton of screen time, I felt like he was more effective in the times that he was in fact there. Connolly probably was given the biggest disservice. I mean, they have her looking super hot with the garter belts and stuff on at one point, and then like 20-30 minutes later they're trying to show like the arc of the character and how she's thinking back to her and Waltz's child, and she's kind of cold and stuff, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like they gave her enough time to make the arc feel as just believable as it needed to. But I mean, obviously, the lead actress, fantastic. Waltz, I will double down on both of their performances, and also as the big hulking, lurching presence where you can really only recognize his face, and even barely there.
Well, yeah,
I really like Jackie Earle
Haley
as the big, just It honestly reminded me in some ways of where Judge Dredd in the I Am the Law movie, where they're out in the wastelands or whatever, and like the huge guy with like the steel plate in his head is coming and like staring him down, and they're cannibals and they're gonna eat him and everything. Yeah, I was kind of getting that vibe from that character, albeit this one's all CG and stuff, but still, I thought it looked pretty damn good.
I enjoyed it, yeah. Dice Cream Man asks, any gore? Not gore per se, but there's a lot of cybernetic violence. And so they can get away with that.
There's slicing in half.
Oh, there's a lot of a lot of violence that would be considered gore if it was actual blood that was spurting out. But since it's mostly like blue cybernetic fluid most times, then they can get away with it. But yes, I mean, I'd have to say yes. The answer to that is yes. There's a lot of gore. Actually, as far as that goes.
And also, I've seen many a PG-13 film where when a human character, where there's all the robot violence or all the alien violence or whatever, and then when a human does get stabbed, there's no blood, there's no whatever. They did have blood.
Oh, yeah.
There's characters, they get slain, and you see the pool of blood, like, kind of spilling and everything, and I was like, oh, they actually did kind of go for it. They pushed the limit as far as they could. I think this could have easily been an R-rated film.
With a couple of tweaks, yes.
Tinkering, it could have been an
R-rated
film.
With a couple of tweaks, yes.
Yeah.
But it was still very satisfyingly carnage-rific. Like, there's a lot of really cool fights, and Alita is badass and really fun to watch.
Badass, period.
I mean, from the very first time, there's a save the cat moment. If any of you know screenwriting, there's a very big save the cat moment, which is save the dog moment in this movie. But it's done really cool, and you see how Alita moves in this scene, and I was like, oh, we're in for some fun.
Yes,
because when that happened, I was like, I really want to see her move around more like that.
Where the programming / instinct kicked in, I was just like, oh yeah, they're gonna go for it with this.
Yeah,
they're gonna Matrix this shizzle, man.
Yeah,
and
they did a good job.
They did. I love the fight scenes in this movie. So I guess that's
it is a manga. It is a manga. It is a manga. It started as a manga. And then it was an anime, Justin, just so you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. Now let's get into the before we get into the effects, let's get into the sound. What?
No, I'm just happy to get into it.
Yeah, because the sound was amazing in this movie, and yes, we did see it. We saw it in a really awesome Dolby surround sound, like done up theater, where this is like the big Dolby screen, and every, like Fuego said, every seat had its own subwoofer and freaking, speaker in it. So you could feel during those roller derby, roller ball scenes that you see in the trailer, like as they get closer to you, your seat goes like, and you're like, holy shit, like I'm right here in the action with them. It is so immersive.
It was the epitome
if you go
of
to the right theater
experience, man. It really is. And that's the thing, like as much as I love going to my local art house and spending $12 to sit and watch a great dramatic film like The Wife or something, it's like, in the same right, if you're going to go see something on a ginormous screen, you want the full experience of stuff popping at you. You want like rumbles beside you. You want to feel like you were right there in this larger than life experience, and that is definitely what the sound design did in this. I mean, every stomp of a robot, every slice of circuitry, I mean, it just really felt larger than life. It felt like I was in another world, and that's and it did it. I mean, the difference between this and a Transformers movie is the fact that there was heart and genuine humanity
and
at the center of it, and you do, and so yeah, sound design was great. I liked some of the musical cues here and there. It wasn't like in a mass abundance, but there was like where one like rock score song kicks in when they're in the bar, and I was just like, yeah, I loved like two favorite set pieces, man. I love the bar fight, and I especially love the fight on the track that we were referencing. The fight on the track is a sight to behold, man. It's up there with like the best scene in Ready Player One, where they're on the track and everything. And I mean, it's way better than that, in my opinion.
And the sound design is deep and rich. Where even early on, I noticed very, very early on, one of the earliest shots, when you get a real close up of an eye looking around, you hear like very muted servos and stuff like kicking in as the eye moves around and stuff like that. Like it's really cool that it's that layered deeply, and it adds to the immersive aspect of the film.
Oh yeah, and the overall experience totally does. And it's funny because Chase knows what I'm talking about. Yes, it was like Glenn Close was shouting about how she should have been the Pulitzer or the Nobel Peace Prize winner right in my face. Anyway,
now the cinematography was also phenomenal in this. Yes, it was made with 3D in mind, and I think very much worth seeing in 3D. I think it's the depth of the 3D alone, or the depth of the movie. They keep saying the greatest 3D experience you'll have in a long time. It is up there.
In a long time.
It is up there. There's only been one that sort of holds a candle to it, and by that I mean all of it is in 3D. Yeah. The world is in 3D as well as the characters popping out at you, which is not as far as a lot of these movies that are post-converted into 3D do. A lot of the animated movies feel like that because they're made sort of with that, and it's easier to do that because they're all made in layers anyway.
Yeah, this wasn't better than Spider-Verse 3D, but this was pretty damn good.
But pretty damn good as far as that goes. Yeah. And yeah, so it was gorgeously laid out. Like there was some times where you see a character in the foreground, hanging on to some structure, and then you just see the city way below them in the background. And it's like a little vertigo inducing if you have that, because it's like, ooh, that is really good separation between the characters, I thought. Like, I just really enjoyed that aspect of it, and it made it so much more enjoyable. I don't think this movie would sing as well as I think it does if you wait to watch it on VOD or home video.
Yeah, if you're watching it on your iPhone while you're making your way home on the subway or something, you are not going to appreciate it.
You're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, As I mentioned, there are certain films like Green Book that you probably could watch just as well on your little thing, and based on the strength of the performance and everything. But this is a visual spectacle, and I disagree with the Justin's sentiment with Justin's sentiments politely. In the fact that. The collaboration between Rob Rod and Jimmy C, I thought was just, it was awesome, And while there was certain aspects of the Robert Rodriguez flavor here and then there was other haminess of the James Cameron stuff here and there. As a whole, visually, especially from a design standpoint, especially with all of the different, whether it's that bar scene that I mentioned or the race scene that I mentioned, where you see the nuances and the detailed design and the differences of all of these different cybernetic, half-human, whatever the hell you want to classify them as, man. So cool,
It's just entertaining the whole way through to me.
Yeah, from like shooting chain hands to like buzzsaw appendages.
Everything.
Everything you could think of.
So many permutations.
It was like straight up death race, but yet they're not in vehicles. Yeah. They are the vehicles themselves. Yeah.
And there's good mystery as far as characters, motivations, and story arcs and things like that. I just really enjoyed the hell out of it, honestly. It was a lot of fun. I'll likely be buying this Blu-ray. Because it was worth it. And I think you guys, if you're going to see it, watch it in the theater, in a 3D theater with really, really good sound. If you don't, it'll be fine, but you won't get the enjoyment that we got out of it, feeling like you're in the goddamn movie. You know what I mean?
I felt like I was racing along all on the track with a man.
For real. For real. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I don't know. Any final thoughts on this? Again, we're keeping this non-spoiler.
Yeah. I say get past your preconceptions. I know we have seen a lot of bad adaptations, live animation or live action-wise, of manga, and as I stressed earlier, Ghost in the Shell, which I was not a big fan of, this is not. I felt like, but then again, I'm familiar with the Ghost in the Shell. I've watched the anime. I've read the mangas. And that's where maybe I was a little bit more critical. I thought stylistically that one was cool, but this one just, I don't know. It had the heart, and this goes in. It had the heart at its core. That big, expensive, beating heart of hers that could power the planet for how goddamn long, like they talked about.
Take it.
Just take it. Take it. And there is some cheese here and there, but it's not enough to deride my enjoyment of this. This is a terrific theater experience. There are a few movies that I would stress more so than any to see in a theater. It's probably Marvel movies and, comic films and good science fiction.
The ones that are worth seeing for their big budget.
Yeah.
I don't see comedies in the theater. I rarely see dramas in the theater. I'll see superhero movies and I'll see a lot of horror movies for our show. But yeah, these big budget movies, they're made for that. And that's how you can get that old school theater experience. And this,
there was communal laughing in this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
a few times.
Yeah, and there was like oohs and ahs and enjoyment and stuff. And yeah, I know I saw it too. Chase. And you know what, Chase? I am stoked.
Yeah.
For Happy Death Day to
I'm excited about Happy Death Day to you, too.
Stoked.
To be honest
I'm
with
actually glad.
I'm glad we saw this early, so we don't have to make that choice.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be seeing that one early, too. So
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
All right, guys. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for our non-spoiler discussion about Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez and produced by James Cameron.
And co-written.
And co-written. I mean, co-adapted from the manga.
Yeah. Well, the screenplay, it was him and... Yep. Some other dude.
It's still an adapted screenplay. So,
indeed. Yes.
Yes. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button. We greatly appreciate it if you do. If you enjoyed our discussion, go ahead and subscribe because there's a lot more of it on our channel. If you want to support the channel directly, click that link for the Patreon in that description below, and you can actually tell us what movies you want us to review. Until next time, though, thank you very much. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias. I've been Jaime Fuego.
Thank you to all of you guys that joined both viewing and commenting.
Very late this evening, so thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Indeed. And for all of you guys watching later on, thank you.
Yes, gracias.
But until then, remember, stay scared.
And go drop your ducats on Alita.
Alita.
Battle Angel.
Did you say Alita or Aaliyah?
I said Alita.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Aaliyah. Aaliyah's been gone for a while.
Rest in peace. Also known as a cop.
Great note to end it on. Rest in peace, Aaliyah.